All right, we're live into the group as well. Everyone, welcome back to Bosses in Action. And today I've got Eric Bramlett with me. He runs Bramlett Residential out of Austin, Texas, just in case you're wondering where the hell that is. It's in Texas. And today we're going to be talking about his tech stack and really the systems in place to be able to allow him to grow as a company, as a team. And I think you'll all love this one. If you have any questions, know that you can put them into the chat. This is recorded. It'll go onto the YouTube channel as well. Welcome to the show, Eric.
Thanks, Tristan.
All right, man. Tell me, I want to start off with the tech stack because that's like the most sexiest thing ever
to
me, because that's really what allows us to be able to scale, or it stops us from scaling in the world that we're in. So let's just go through it. What do you currently have that rises to the top in your head when I say tech stack?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we keep things pretty simple. So Follow-Up Boss for CRM, and then we use RealScale for brokerage management. We bring in some marketing pieces through Zapier and whatnot. Our website is a WordPress website, but I sort of put everything marketing into one bucket, and then consider the tech to run the brokerage is really just Follow-Up Boss and RealScale.
All right, and RealScout is the IDX that you use that's built into.
No, RealScale actually. It's so it's a brokerage management platform. It would be it's similar to say like a SkySlope, and then it does project management as well. Similar like an Open to Close or a Basecamp or something like that. So, but it's all in one.
Nice. And that's how, and they built out your WordPress site as well, or you built that out?
No. So I'm kind of a tech guy. So I've had mine on WordPress since, call it 2007. And that's just something that I've managed myself.
Oh, nice, dude. I like that.
Thank you.
All right. So just on the WordPress site, what are some things that you've done that have worked well over the last years? Like SEO, maybe you drive traffic through PPC, blogging, video. What does that look like?
Yeah, traffic is generally purchased through PPC. So that's going to be either, it's going to be either Google or Bing for the most part. We don't ignore SEO. We have a decent budget on SEO as well. Really landing page marketing more than anything. So it's just putting out messaging, really seeing what works, what doesn't, keep what works, throw away what doesn't work. And we've done that over the years, iterated a lot, and we have some winners, and we continue to test all the time. So.
All right, landing page marketing, what does that entail?
Yeah. So give you an example. We have first-time home buyer page, or we have a relocating to Austin page. We have multiple seller pages, things like that. So you come up with messaging that could work, or you think it could work. You drive traffic to it, and it either converts or it doesn't. And if it converts, you keep it. And if it doesn't convert, then you throw it away. All
right. And how do you decide if it's working? Do you put some money behind it? Do you throw it in a newsletter? What does that look like?
Yeah, you just buy traffic. So, generally pay-per-click is what the traffic you're going to put on it. And then you'll have a conversion goal. Generally speaking, that's going to be some sort of inbound inquiry. And, if it's converting and you're getting inquiries, then it was successful. And if it's not, then you don't. So.
All right. So tell me, how do you integrate that with Follow-Up Boss?
Yeah, they make it really, really easy. So if it's a web chat, then we run that through one of the Zapier filters that brings that into Follow-Up Boss. The forms are super simple. The forms just, they port right in through Zapier as well. And then because we know what each message is, we can put them into the appropriate ponds, so then the agents can grab them.
I like that, dude. I like that a lot.
Thank you.
All right. So part of growth, I think, also comes down to reporting.
Yeah.
And making sure that everyone understands where they're at and where they need to go to. And dude, that's how we find the holes. And I'm sure that's how you too. So tell me, on the reporting, what do you use to report, to keep track of all the numbers and whether something is working or not?
Yeah. So, there's multiple things you have to make sure are firing. And if any of them are not, then you have to have a report that'll tell you it's not working. So analytics, Google Analytics on the marketing side, that's going to tell you if your marketing pieces are working or not. Follow-Up Boss, so we require that all the agents use the Follow-Up Boss app for dialing and for initial contact. So you can see if there's a problem in conversion or not. And so you can literally just look at the leaderboard and see which agents are making a lot of dials, which agents are sending a lot of emails, and that'll tell you that there's not a problem. At the very back end, tracking your ROI. So RealScale does that. They do a really good job of showing your reports and how much revenue you're bringing in on each marketing channel, and on each agent as well. So you can look at it and see Okay, we spent X on, Bing ads last year. How much did we bring in revenue?
All right. So right now, where are you seeing that you're getting the most return on your investment from?
I mean, we have like 15 different channels and they all return. Otherwise we wouldn't use them. The most traffic you're going to find it on Google. You're going to find it on Facebook. Facebook's kind of a tough nut to crack in terms of conversion, but yeah, I mean, just the major channels you would assume.
All right. So Google, how about your past clients, man? Do you throw them in there as well? Retarget to them? What does that look like?
Yeah, so we don't do a lot of retargeting to them. We have a pretty sophisticated sphere of influence marketing program. That's basically just sending them items of value, sending them newsletters, things like that. And yeah, I mean, all real estate companies, about 40% of our business is from SOI.
All right, I want to know more about that, dude. So what does that look like on the sphere side?
Yeah.
What do you send out? Is it monthly, weekly? How many times a year? Tell me all the details.
Yeah, for sure. So they're going to get a weekly market update. It's just going to show them what properties have closed, gone under contract, new properties in their neighborhood. We found that they like that every Monday morning.
Yep.
We send newsletters at least once a month. We generally send a newsletter whenever there's something interesting. So when COVID hit, I mean, we were sending newsletters at least twice a month, sometimes 3 or 4 times a month. You can look at the open rates on those to determine if you're making the right assumption that things are still interesting or not.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we send them cake balls on their birthday, and we send them brownies on their home purchase anniversary. So
nice. And what are you using to send out brownies?
Yeah, AM cards works well for that.
Oh, because of the integration with Follow Up Boss, right?
Absolutely.
Makes it easier. Dude, that's way awesome. All right. So anything else you're doing on the sphere? Do you guys have events? Do you guys have a Facebook group, anything like that, or no?
We have an internal Facebook group, but that's just for the agents. So no, I mean, it's really hard to engage the public and get them into a Facebook group. In terms of events, we don't hold any company events. Some of our agents will do that, but at the company level, we don't do that.
All right. All right. So this year you guys are over 300 million in volume, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, as of today, we're at 327 million. So
that's insane, because you guys don't have more than you have 30 agents, if I remember correctly, reading that document.
Yeah, 30.
That's not a lot, dude. That
Yeah.
is insane that you're running that awesomeness with that few agents.
So you can either describe me as really efficient or really lazy. I don't like to manage a whole lot. So we like to keep really good agents, and to keep them around, you make sure that help them get their volume up on an average basis. So yeah, this year we'll probably average about 11 million per agent.
I love that, because now the agents that are on the team can thrive. They're not just barely surviving or barely making it.
Yeah.
I like that a lot, man. How big is your staff when it comes to helping 30 agents with that big of a volume?
It's, because we have a lot of great agents, we run pretty lean. Again, I don't like managing a whole lot. So we have a managing broker, Lauren, she's phenomenal. We have Bailey in operations, and then we have a listing coordinator, and that's literally it. After that, we have 3 full-time VAs, and then we use RealScale for transaction coordination.
All right, RealScale rebranded from Transactify. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
All right, and tell me more about that, because a lot of people don't know what RealScale is. What does it do for you? How do you use it?
Yeah, it's a brokerage management platform with managed services. So we use it to manage the brokerage. Whenever the agents need a CDA, that's where they go to input all their documents. That's where they go to ask for a CDA. And then in terms of our listing coordination, that's where all the project management task lists are. It's really neat. It's real estate specific. So the task list will fire based on real estate specific milestones, like under contract, like inspection date, financing date, close date. So it works really, really well. Other neat things about it, they can, you can have things fire based on different statuses. So when something goes under contract, you can have a list launch immediately. Give you an example. So whenever a transaction is changed to closed, well, then we know that we have a closeout process that one of our VAs needs to follow. Going back to that SOI marketing, as soon as it's closed, the VA looks at it and they say, okay, the client was rated 4 stars. So we know that they're going to go into their SOI spreadsheet. So then the VA goes and makes sure that they're where they're supposed to be. The VA goes in and orders the brownies. VA goes in and communicates with the cake ball company to make sure that they're going to get cake balls, things like that. That all fires right as soon as the status is changed to close. And then you can assume like whenever an inspection period is up, right? Well, you need to make sure that an appraisal has been ordered. So the VAs know, okay, inspection's up, a task fires and says, hey, you need to go send this email template to make sure that the appraisal's been ordered, things like that.
Oh, I like that. All right, that makes a lot of sense, and it works seamlessly with Follow Up Boss because I don't use Real Scale. So
yeah. So there's sync with Follow Up Boss, some marketing sync with it, things like that. So
nice, dude. All right, so 30 people on your team producing over 300 million. How do you keep everybody together and going in the same direction? Because your staff's it's not huge.
Yeah.
And the team's not a lot, but still, I'm assuming everyone running at about 11 million in volume, things are going to happen. How do you make sure that everyone's just on the same vision, on the same path mentally? How do you do that?
Yeah, so we've documented our culture pretty well. I mean, at a very, very high level, everybody we hire, they believe that they should put the client's interest first and they should always provide 5-star service. So
Okay.
when they come on, that's kind of an expectation because that's the culture that we've built. In terms of, we have open door policy with regards to contact us anytime you have a question. We have a policy of we call it 2 brains. So if you run into something that you've never seen before, get another brain on it. Means, call me or call Lauren or call Bailey or send a message out to the group on Facebook. And everybody's really aligned. So it just works. We have 1 monthly meeting. It's optional. We generally have a social event every quarter. So
I like that. So do you find that from the leads that come through, online leads specifically that come through, do you find that the agents handle them well, or do you let the systems come in first, kind of let you know which ones are priority and then give them to the agents? How does that work?
Yeah, so the agents, they sign up for leads duty. So our leads duty is really productive, meaning that when you come in, we're not asking people to make 100 dials or anything like that. Whenever they sign up for a leads duty, they're usually going to get 3 or 4 inbound phone calls that are legitimate leads. They're also going to get a few web leads that are also legitimate leads. We just ask them to handle them well, really. And all the calls are recorded. So if there ever is a problem, we're going to know about it early. And then because we're using Follow Up Boss for all outreach, for all communication, you can see if a web lead comes in and is automatically assigned to an agent or to a pond, you can see that agent is handling it correctly. You can audit messaging because, again, we're recording the calls, and you can audit messaging on the emails and the text messages and whatnot. So everybody in the company, we trust them quite a bit. And I know that everybody's really, really good. And we have had problems in the past and we're able to catch it pretty early. So
nice, man. I really like that. That makes a lot of sense. And I think a lot more teams, brokerages should run it that way. Can you go a little deeper as to the leads duty? What does that mean? What does that look like?
Yeah. So whenever you want leads, right, you sign up for leads duty and you're going to have either an AM shift or a PM shift. It's remote. So if let's say I want to build my pipeline. So I'll sign up for 3 leads duties next week. Each shift is 6 hours, and you don't have to sit at a desk or anything like that. You just have to have your phone on you. We ask that you don't schedule any appointments during leads duty, and we ask that you carry a clipboard with you that has a lead sheet on it. So phone rings, pick it up. If it's a lead, great, chat with them, convert them. Your phone buzzes, you're assigned a web lead, call them immediately. So pretty simple stuff, and really, really effective. What we found is that when consumers reach out to a real estate agent or a real estate office, they really want to talk to them right then. So we've tried it other ways. We tried it a couple of years ago with somebody. It was a single receptionist who would answer the phone for every call that came in. She's awesome. I mean, she did a really great job talking to every person. She warmed them up. I would listen to calls that were 15 minutes long. We would drop 70% of the calls in between the time that she took the lead to whenever it was handoff. It's because there's a lag. There's a 10, 15, 20-minute lag. And that person has moved on and they've called another agent. They're gonna go with the first good, competent agent that they find. And if that's us, we converted them. But if they have to wait another 20 minutes, then they're probably gonna move on.
That's true, man. And that's funny that you bring that up because it's always the ISA model versus the direct to agent model.
Right.
And I believe in the direct to agent model, if you can do it, right?
Yeah. I don't know that one's better than the other. This works for us, right? So our marketing drives a lot of inbounds because it's all inbounds. The agents, they just have to answer the phone. There's phenomenal brokerages, phenomenal teams that are doing a lot of outbound calling with ISAs. Oh. Yeah. And if you're doing the outbound calling, then you need somebody who's accountable to do that. But it's just a different way to skin a cat.
Well, I mean, think about the consumer. You already know this. I'm talking to the audience, but think of the consumer in this case. If you're dialing to reach an agent because you have a question, like an actual call, right? You would like to talk to an agent instead of an in-between person, right? And then it takes a while to connect to that agent. So if you look at that on the logical side, it just makes more sense if you're able to connect directly with an agent, which is what we've done for years. And we run both, by the way.
Awesome.
And we still see when it's direct to agent, dude, it happened over the weekend. An agent was picked it up. Oh, we'd like to see a property all cash. I'm like, dude, come on, in
You
between.
found the right guy.
Right. So it's tough. Lori has a good question for you. Do you ever buy leads?
I mean, in terms of do we buy from the traditional sellers now? I mean, we've bought from Zillow in the past, we bought from Realtor.com in the past, but our marketing program looks a little bit more like, I don't know, it's less lead purchase and more just trial and error things. That's what I'm really good at. I manage that side of it. So sorry, that wasn't like a straight answer, I guess. But.
No, that makes sense. So no Zillow, no Realtor.com.
Yeah.
You go mostly Google PPC, Facebook lead ads, right?
Yeah.
And your sphere, right? That's mainly it.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, we do some other stuff too. We do offline marketing. Bing, believe it or not, it's great. So yeah, we'll do. I mean, we're always trying new things out, and we just generally keep whenever it's ROI positive, and we just toss it whenever it's not. So.
All right. And what are you testing out right now that you're kind of excited about? Like, ooh, this might be good.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm testing stuff all the time. There's a new company that captures contact information from web visitors where they've not even filled out a form. And yeah, and then you mail them a postcard. So we just started that. We're gonna see if there's any return on that or not.
Oh, dude, you're gonna let me know if that works.
Yeah, for sure.
I got another company I've been testing out called GeoPoint, and just for sellers, but they're super expensive.
Yeah,
but it's been working, and we've been on it for
GeoPoint.
GeoPoint, yeah.
Okay.
But they do the opposite, where they have this massive email list, and they retarget them on Google.
Okay.
And then they pop up, and then people have to fill out a questionnaire form. It's like 12 plus questions. And the deeper they go in them, the higher they qualify, and then they send you the ones that finish the form.
Got it.
And so that's why they come in and they want to talk to us. So,
yeah.
So take a look at them. And what are you excited about next year for 2022?
Yeah, so we've always grown super, super slowly because I'm scared of screwing up a good thing. And we feel like we're at a place with our systems now where we actually are, we've, for the first time ever, we have an actual recruiting effort. So yeah, so we're looking to grow, and I think we probably will be able to.
Nice. All right. Growth. What does that look like? Where do you go to grow?
Yeah, I mean, you're looking for great agents. So that makes, that obviously competes with growing quickly. So I don't think we'll grow super, super quickly. We're using a lot of the same techniques that have worked to get buyers and sellers that we are to try to get agents. And I mean, this is, their email campaigns. We actually do an outbound calling, so that, that helps as well. And we put together a recruiting presentation it's similar in structure to our listing presentation. So yeah, it's been good so far, and we feel like we're really geared up and ready to grow.
Ooh, I like that, man.
Yeah,
that should be cool to see and scale that.
Yeah, I mean, the goal will be it's $1 billion in sales in the next 3 to 4 years. So we'll see.
Well, you're on your way there, man.
Thank you.
That's pretty nutty. I love that. All right, so anything you've been looking at that you want to pick up tech wise that you're like, maybe I should give that a try? Because I've been eyeing a few things. Like I've been eyeing Client Giant, and I haven't jumped. I'm like, I keep on seeing people use Client Giant.
Yeah.
And I keep on hearing about it, but I'm like, oh, I'm not ready yet. Anything like that?
Yeah. So I always test out, different stuff, right? Like I've got a lot of friends that are in the tech industry because I'm from Austin. So we're trying a company called Pushnami that's, they do push notifications. We're going to see if we can get any leads that way. Dan introduced me to a guy with it's a handwritten card company. Hold on a second. And I feel like a jerk that I can't remember.
Oh, he sent it to me too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's Jesse is the guy's name with, audience.co. So he and I met each other online, or we met each other in Zoom last week, and they're doing some really cool, interesting stuff with targeting. So I think we're going to probably test that out, see how that goes.
All right. I'm going to test that out too, so we can compare notes.
Absolutely.
Dude, I'm surprised this is the very first time we actually talk.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't go to conferences and whatnot, so that's probably why. But it's great hanging with you. We need to stay in touch.
That is super cool, bro. All right, so you've got some good numbers, and any advice that you can give either agents that are in the process of growing, that are single agents,
Sure.
and then smaller teams that are looking to scale and grow.
Yeah. So the best advice I've probably ever had is, and it's very like high level, sort of Mr. Miyagi type advice, but it's you track everything, right? Like literally track everything, and make sure that you have accurate results, and don't be afraid to throw away stuff that didn't work at all, no matter how sure you were it was going to work, and then keep the stuff that does. So I'll give you an example. I mentioned Facebook earlier and said Facebook's kind of difficult. Well, I put together this super elaborate campaign. I mean, multi-stage funnel, whatnot. I was just positive it was going to work, and we spent, I don't know, well over 100 grand on it, and a year's worth of time, which is a lot more valuable than money. And it was just a bomb. I mean, we didn't get anything out of it. And it was disbelief. I'm like, how, man, I put so much time into this. How can this bomb so badly? But then you look at the numbers and you're like, well, I don't know, but I'm going to quit throwing money and time at this stupid idea and just move on to something else. Right. We've had some other stuff that really surprised me that worked. We use postcards, right? And those work really well. It shocks me. Absolutely
It
shocks
still
me.
shocks me, man. Like,
absolutely, right? Yeah. And so don't be afraid to try stuff, and don't be afraid. I mean, you have to be, with marketing, you have to be really willing to, like, it feels like you're just wasting money, but you're not. And that's what a really successful marketer that worked for a company in town called Build a Sign. I had breakfast with him, and I thought I was interviewing him. Turned out he was just like being really nice, like he's friends with a friend of mine. And he told me, he said, what you have to understand about marketing is if you put 10 campaigns, 9 of them, and I thought I was finishing a sentence, and I said, oh yeah, 9 of them are going to fail. He goes, no, not only that. He goes, if you get 1 out of the 10 that also fails, but gives you some direction as to what could possibly be successful, then that's a success. So you're always learning with marketing. And a lot of times you're learning what doesn't work. And if you learn something doesn't work, just move on. It's totally fine. But just keep trying. You have to keep on trying. You have to keep spending money to learn what's going to work. And that's what's very hard as a newer agent, is making peace with the fact that if you go spend 15 grand on a campaign and you don't get a single sale out of it, it doesn't mean that marketing doesn't work. It just means that marketing doesn't work. You need to keep on trying.
All right. I like that, dude. That's good advice. I think people often misunderstand that part of the business, that you do have to throw some money in and test things out and be okay failing. So
absolutely.
I'm really happy that you brought up Mr. Miyagi too. So yeah. Which is awesome, by the way. Richard has a question for you. What's the name of the app or the company that can send messages for only visitors, even if they have not filled out a form?
Yeah, there's 2 of them. There's one called getemails.com, and there's another one called Smart. Oh, no, I'm sorry, not Smart Setter. The other one is, hold on a sec. I think it's directmail.io. I'll look at it, Tristan. I'll chat it to you guys here in a bit, or send you an email.
Cool. As soon as you send it over to us, we'll post it up into the Follow Up Boss community so everyone can see it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Dude, I love it, man. Thank you for taking the time to do this. I know you're running an empire here. You're building it out of Austin.
Be an empire in 5 years. How about that? We can call it that.
It's a mini empire.
Mini. There we go.
I like it. Thanks, bro. I appreciate your time. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And then make sure to follow him and send any referrals out you have to Austin, to this guy right here.
Thanks Tristan.
Man. Appreciate
chatting with you, man. Take care.
Bye-bye.